to join in with us. I know it takes a few minutes for it all to catch up, but it looks like we are actually streaming right now on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So I think we're good to go. While we're waiting for everyone to join in, if you will leave me in the comments where you're joining from, would love to know where everyone's tuning in. And if you are catching this on the replay, use hashtag replay and go ahead and let us know too, because I do love to read those comments. And so also, if you are joining us from Facebook, really important that you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give Facebook and StreamYard permission to speak to each other, because if you don't and you leave us a comment, all it's going to say is Facebook user, and then we won't know who we are talking to. So do that for us, StreamYard.com/Facebook, and give them permission to speak to each other. So I want to just say that if you are new to me and I am new to you, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Beverly Smith. I'm the founder of Career Success Strategies, and I'm also the former owner of a staffing and recruiting firm. So I know firsthand what hiring managers are looking for, and I now am using that knowledge to help mid and senior level professionals build their resume so that they can land the career of their dreams. So last week, if you joined us, you know that we talked all about soft skills. Bethany Wallace joined us, and she told us how to use soft skills and how to demonstrate them on your resume. So it was a great episode. If you missed it, you can go back and check out the replay either on LinkedIn, or you can go to my YouTube channel at Beverly Smith Resumes and click on the live tab, and that will be there. Also, I wrote an article on the topic of soft skills within your resume, and I will link that up real quickly for you guys here in the comments. So we just put that in for everyone. Meanwhile, this week we have a special guest joining us. I have Dr. Jeannine Bennett joining us, and I'm so excited because she and I are going to be talking all about job search strategies in today's market. So if you are embarking on your own job search, you're going to want to grab a pen and piece of paper, because you're going to want to take some notes. We're going to have some great information for you. So just real quickly, I'm going to introduce Jeannine to you. Dr. Jeannine Bennett is a certified career professional. She's a military transition specialist, a business consultant, published author, and a college professor. She is the driving force behind Vision to Purpose, dedicated to empowering individuals and businesses to achieve their goals through customized career and business writing solutions. With more than 30 years of experience, her visionary approach has made a big impact on entrepreneurship, academia, and authorship. So welcome, Jeannine. I'm so excited that you are here with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Beverly. I'm excited about the topic. I'm excited to chat with you about, job search strategies and LinkedIn and networking and all the great stuff that we're going to get to. So again, thank you for having me. I don't know if you saw, my dog Chance just snuck in. So apparently he's excited to listen to.
Well, I hope he's not out looking for a job, but I know that both you and I work with a lot of job seekers, and we're seeing different changes in the market. So I do think that we have a lot of value to bring. So I wanted to jump right in, and I want to talk about the job seekers' online presence. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on how they can optimize that.
Well, when you say online presence, my mind immediately goes to LinkedIn. There's several other platforms, obviously, out there. You got your Facebook, your X, formerly known as Twitter, and all that good stuff. And they have their, purpose as well. But I'm really a fan of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is fantastic for networking, reaching people that you want to reach. In fact, usually when I talk to clients, I tell them, you're a business of one. Not only do you need that resume to market yourself, but you need to reach people. And LinkedIn is the way to do that because more companies are online than elsewhere. So I always say LinkedIn. And then I tell them what to do for their LinkedIn profiles and how to optimize them and that kind of stuff. So LinkedIn for me is the best thing they can do for their online presence.
Sure. So is there anything specific that comes to mind when it comes to LinkedIn profiles that you feel like you see a lot where your clients may be missing the boat and missing good opportunities?
Yes. Oh gosh, we only have a little bit of time, but I'll hit the highlights. So the first thing is it's visual.
Mhm.
It's LinkedIn is networking. It's just taking place online. So just like you would go to a face-to-face event, you want to, present the right image. You want to do the same thing for LinkedIn. And that starts with that visual presence. You need a background graphic, and that background graphic should really state what you're an expert in. I get having, great pictures and whatnot. But if you can't tie it to what your brand is and demonstrate what your expertise is, then you're missing the mark. Because again, it goes to my first comment of, you're a business of one and you're the product you need to market as that business. So you want to have a really good eye-catching background graphic. Again, add that quote, add some keywords that tell people who you are. So that's the first thing I always do. The next thing I do is tell them to create a headline that is impactful as well, that's representative of who they are as an expert, because that field is searchable. So when recruiters search for different candidates based on key terms, you're not going to come up in a search if you say searching for a job, because recruiters don't look for people searching for a job. They look for people that are project managers, that are operations professionals, whatever your expertise is. That's what recruiters are going to be looking for when they filter for job search candidates. So those are the two main things. And then obviously, you want to have a profile picture. I, as a professional, will not connect with anyone if they don't have a profile picture. I need to
same rule.
Yeah, I need to know that you're real. And I think that comes from spending so many times working with the military. I used to work with public affairs professionals and strategic communications and intel. And I, at one point, was over the social media stuff for the command I worked with. And I can't tell you how many times I had to reach out to NCIS, unlike the TV show, to tell them we have another fake profile trying to imitate, military members. So I don't go for any connections that don't have a profile picture. Some people will put those initials until they get one. I'm okay with that if I know them, if I know they're coming. But I really want a picture. I want a picture.
I so agree. And that just the three things that you've mentioned are such a valuable real estate on LinkedIn that just can drive people to your profile. And one of the things I think that's really cool about LinkedIn is that it is SEO friendly. I mean, you can go to Google if you've given LinkedIn the permissions, and recruiters that are using Google to search can definitely come across different people that way. So it's so important, and it's so important not to just let the defaults take place, that blue background, or like you said, just a picture. I mean, just even, and it's so easy to create in Canva. And Canva is a free tool, easy to use, and definitely would say those are some very significant things as well.
Right. Absolutely. Adobe Spark is another one that you can create backgrounds with. That's a tool that I use a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what people don't realize, and the reason I said at the very beginning of the show that LinkedIn is my favorite platform for the online presence for job seekers, it's because what people don't realize is on LinkedIn, they have a recruiter program
Mm,
where recruiters can sign up. It's a back end program that they pay extra for to reach all of the people right on LinkedIn. So, yes, Google, like you said, has it, but so LinkedIn has it built right in too. So, you want to present yourself in the best light so that people
sure.
find you.
Sure. So I think too that there's certain employees that may be searching confidentially, and they may be a little bit nervous too about making big changes on LinkedIn, but there are definitely tools on the platform that allow you to remain confidential but visible to recruiters, right?
Yes, absolutely. You can find those in the settings area of LinkedIn.
Mhm.
I know we're not going into the how to today. Maybe that'll be a follow on podcast in the future. But yes, there's all kinds of settings. So if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, my recommendation is to get familiar with it. Find out what tools are available to you. A lot of people, one of my favorite tools, to be honest, is you can search anonymously as well. I can
Mhm.
search in private mode,
Mhm.
and kind of look around at different things without anybody knowing that I'm looking. So,
Right.
and then I can go back into my setting and turn off private mode, and there I am again, Jeannine. Um, so there's little tools like that that job seekers can use to do their search and not let anyone know, that they're doing that. And like you
Sure.
said, there's other tools to keep that confidentiality so that their present employer, isn't caught off guard. And there's,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, and there's tactics. Beverly, you already know this, so I'm preaching to the choir. But you can update a profile. Don't change too many things to be so obvious, but you can still update your profile and let if questions are asked, you can tell the company you're trying to have a good presence because you're part of the company's brand too. So,
Absolutely. And I'll just say too, for those that are watching, I did a whole series on using LinkedIn back in September, and you can go and find that. Obviously, you can find it on LinkedIn if you click on my activities and go to my videos, but you can also go to my YouTube channel at Beverly Smith Resumes, click on the live tab, and those are all in there. We go into a lot more detail, but that might be something too that you and I hook up together and talk about in more detail in the future as well, because things, are always very fluid on a platform like LinkedIn.
yeah.
So I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit. I know that one of the things I hear a lot from job seekers and also too, because I do have the recruiting is more about whether applying to jobs on job boards is really a sound strategy and what your thoughts are there.
Okay, you broke up for a minute there, so I didn't get everything, but I can talk about job boards and if they're important or not important. Um, Again, going back to my time with military, I always tell my job seekers, and I do work with a lot of transitioning military members, that use the job boards for intel, but I
Mm,
don't necessarily tell them to apply online using those job platforms. And the reason is you don't know what you don't know. So if you're searching for a job, you don't even know what companies exist. So that's what I
mhm,
mean by intel. Use
mm,
those platforms for research, to find out what companies are out there, what jobs are available. But then go directly to the company to find out if that job is still available. I can't tell you how
mm,
many times my clients, spend 2 hours trying to apply to a job on a job platform or a job board only to find out that the job's not even available anymore. And they throw their
mm,
hands up and they're so upset and frustrated. Or they go to the company website and they find out that there's a better job more suited for them that is available. And so they can apply directly online with the company. So job boards are okay. I won't go into the different ones. They all have their own value. But that's my take on it. I say use the job boards for research, but then go straight to the company to actually apply to those jobs.
I completely agree with that. And I mean, we used the job boards quite a bit when I was a recruiter. And it's exactly like you say. I mean, that position may not still be open. It has reached its most competitive stage by the time it gets to a job board. And I just worked with someone last week that was really interested in a position. And I said, let's go over to LinkedIn to see if we can see how many people have already applied to that position. And there was something like over 200 people have already submitted an application, and I felt bad for her because it really kind of burst her bubble just a little bit. But there is just so much other things, which leads me into my next question. You hear the term hidden jobs in the career coaching circle. And I think sometimes job seekers look at us kind of cross-eyed and wonder what the heck we mean by hidden jobs. What are they and how do you find them?
Well, yeah. So hidden jobs, they're really not hidden. They're just not mentioned anywhere. And you find them really through networking. It's like you're in a company. And when you work for a company, I can't tell you how many times we'd have meetings with HR, and HR would ask us, what departments needed staffing, what departments needed personnel. And in the military, in that environment, they would talk about transitioning, who's coming, who's going. It's the same concept. And it's in those meetings that you find out that jobs are coming down the pipe and you need to be aware of them. They're not posted anywhere. You find out about them within the company. So that's why networking and LinkedIn is so important from the online side, but just getting out there and networking in general, because that's where you're going to be around people face to face. You're going to be able to talk to them about, your goals, get to really know people. And then you'll be top of mind when one of those position pops that somebody knows about that hasn't been posted anywhere.
Right, right. So you mentioned something, and I kind of wanted to jump over and talk a little bit about this topic as well, about using LinkedIn and how you can network, how you can target companies. I mean, I think you can take that intel from that you gained on the job boards, but let's talk a little bit about how you can use that intel to target companies on LinkedIn and how you can actually use LinkedIn for what I think it's best at, and it's a networking platform.
Yes, well, that's absolutely right. It is a networking platform. Everything else was built from that. So all these wonderful tools, even the job stuff, came after LinkedIn itself was built to network. So absolutely. What I do with every client that I work with, especially if I'm working on their LinkedIn profile, after that call, I go through what I like to call my tips for networking effectively on LinkedIn. And I share 10 tips. And today I'll share the most important one, the one that I say gives the biggest bang for the buck when you're trying to get noticed by a company. And basically that is to write a short article, because in LinkedIn, you can do blog articles. You can do little articles. Beverly, you do a great job of posting articles out there through LinkedIn. Tag the company in your article. Okay. Here's what's going to happen when you do that. There's 3 things that can happen. The recruiter for the company could see it, because guess what? They filter for talent on their company name. So they're going to be looking for people that mention the company. 2, a lot of companies offer talent management finder fees. So if you bring somebody into the firm or the organization, they get paid if you get hired. So employees are really good at looking for people who might be a good fit for the company. Okay.
Right.
And then third, usually the C-suite side. So I'll say CEOs. Most CEOs get paid additionally on public perception, how the company is perceived by others. So while they're taking time down to, work on their thought leadership, meaning they're going to, do their own research to keep them, keep that intellectual capital smart and keep them forward thinking and visionary, they take time to look at LinkedIn to see what people are saying about them and other platforms. And they're also going to do their research and read books and all that kind of wonderful stuff. Well, right there, folks, you got 3 people who could potentially see you when you post that short article. And when I say articles, don't be afraid. I'm talking 3 to 4 paragraphs, very short. Post that on LinkedIn, tag the company. You have 3 opportunities to be seen by people who work for the company.
I think those are fabulous. And I just wanted to say, Aricia Schaefer says, thank you so much for these great tips. Thank you, Aricia, for joining us today. Jeannine, is there anything else as we start to wrap this up? Is there anything else that you'd like to add that may be beneficial for those who are searching for jobs at this time?
Well, I got to tell you, mindset is the biggest thing. Mindset, if you have a negative mindset, because I get it, the job search can be frustrating. It's hard. Beverly already talked about, there's a lot of people applying for the same job. I think the last statistic I saw, and it was 250 people on average are applying for one job. And so it can get quite frustrating. And so you can have a negative mindset if you let it get to you. But what happens, folks, when you do that, if you don't do whatever you can to stay positive, that negativity can roll over into a job interview when you do get called up, because that feeling that's been pent up can come through in that interview and cause you to not get that job. You could sabotage all your efforts by how you present yourself. And if your mindset is not right, then it could derail you and cause the issue to manifest into something greater. So I say, keep a positive mindset. Know that just because you didn't get that interview or that job, that may not be the one for you, that there's something better for you, and to keep moving forward. And while you're searching for a job, do things that are going to keep you moving forward, like read that book on the power of positive thinking or something, or read that book on a skill that you're trying to learn, or take one of those free Google classes or Udemy classes or LinkedIn. There's so much you can do while you're waiting also for that job. So that's what I would say. I get a lot of clients that come to me defeated. They feel defeated and they're hoping, to make a change. And the first thing I do is we work on mindset.
Yeah. Aricia adds that mindset can make or break you. And I wanted to throw in something. We had a guest on here a few weeks ago, Adrian Dominguez, and he too has a background in recruiting. And he had a really good tip, and it really goes both ways. But he said, be mindful of the other person. So the recruiters know if there are 250 people applying for a job, can you imagine having 250 resumes that you had to go through to find that needle in a haystack? It's tough, and they can be a little frustrated as well. So you extending them some grace and knowing, hey, maybe this is why I have not heard back, is that they're trying to get through all of these as well. And hopefully your positive attitude, your mindset will show through. And when you do get in that interview session, then that will be reflective of how you present yourself. And So yes, I wanted to say, Aricia also says, or hop on to my workshop, which deals with mindset in combination with career search. Of course, yes. Y'all
Yeah,
need to go check her out as well, because she does some great things as well on that. And I love that you work with your clients on that. I think one of the things that I find when I'm working with clients too, going through the whole process, is it's such a confidence booster when they're able to come back and reflect on their accomplishments. Are you seeing that as well with your clients?
yes, absolutely. It's one thing to have, great tools in place, that resume, that LinkedIn profile, that personal branding all ready to go, and then to have them, have that mindset where it needs to be. They excel and then they come back and they share, this worked, that worked. It's just a whole different experience when things are in place. So, yes, I agree.
Right. Well, so tell me, we need to, we're getting close to time. So let's start to wrap this up, but tell me, where are the best places for people to find you?
I would say find me on LinkedIn or my website. So if you
Okay.
look up Jeannine Bennett, PhD, that's me on LinkedIn, or just go to my website, vision2purpose.com. Those are the best ways to find me.
Very good. Well, I've thrown those into the comments. Jeannine also has a second website. Sorry, I think we froze up for just a
Yeah.
brief second there.
I didn't hear that last part. You froze up a
So,
little bit.
so what I was saying is I believe that you have a second website, JeannineBennett.com. And is that your author website as
That's
well?
my author website. Yes. So if you are a writer wanting to become an author, check that site out. Yes.
Okay, well, I threw that one up in the comments as
Thank you.
well. And make sure, guys, that
Sorry.
keeping
That's the
it
barking
real,
dog.
keeping it real. Make sure, guys, that not only that you go and follow and connect with Jeannine, but that you also, for both of us, click that little bell with the notifications, and that way you can know every time that we post. Jeannine posts some really great things like that. She does some great book reviews on LinkedIn, and I know that you guys will love to stay in touch with what she is doing. So, just we've covered a lot of things. I would love for you to know, for you guys that are watching with us. Let me know in the comments some of your biggest takeaways. Um, just a reminder, I do work with mid and senior level professionals. So if you are ready to invest in a professionally written resume, send me a DM and let's talk. If you are transitioning from military into the civilian world, you need to reach out to Jeannine. She knows all about that and can definitely help you there. So the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be flying solo, no guests, but I promise it's going to be another great episode. And we're actually next week going to continue this discussion and dive a little bit deeper into some job search strategies. And so if this has sparked any questions for you, please either reach out to me